Hello, C2 Collective, and welcome to the second episode in our series, Fall into QuickBooks. Today, we will take a broad tour of the new apps in QuickBooks Online, showing you where to find the commonly used features and how to navigate with confidence. This will be an overview, so don't worry about all of the little details just yet. We'll dive deeper into specific sections in future videos. If this is your first time joining us, welcome on in. Each episode is designed to stand on its own and give you practical tips on the topic that we are talking about. But if you would like to explore more, check out the rest of the series linked in the description below. Just like the seasons, QuickBooks Online is changing. Some of these updates have been slowly rolling out over the summer, but by the end of September, all users are moving to the new interface and banking features. We know that change, especially in technology, can feel very overwhelming. That is why we created this series to help you set aside the stress and step confidently into smart financial habits with QuickBooks Online. Each week, we are going to share a clear step-by-step tutorial on the new interface so that you can get the most out of your tools. Just a little disclaimer, keep in mind that QuickBooks Online may continue to making small adjustments as feedback is received. Also, different QuickBooks subscriptions come with different features, so our dashboards may not look exactly the same. Even so, this series should give you helpful tips no matter what version you are using. As always, if you have questions, drop them in the comments below or reach out to us directly at connect@c2accounting.net to schedule one-on-one support. So grab your beverage. I have some great coffee today, and let us get started. On the new interface, you will notice that all of the old menu items are gone from the navigation bar on the left. It can be a bit jarring if you weren't expecting it, but don't worry, your usual workflow categories are still here. QuickBooks now calls them apps, so let's jump in and explore. There are two ways to access the apps. First, from your dashboard, where you'll see them listed across the top. Second, from the navigation bar by clicking on apps. You can hover over categories to pick a subcategory, or simply click on a main category to expand it into your content window here on the right. Here's a quick tip. The new interface is designed for QuickBooks version of full screen. You may need to click the hide button to collapse the app bar to see all the features. If you haven't noticed, there is something called pinned apps here at the bottom of the navigation bar. By selecting Customize at the bottom, you can change what apps you have pinned. One of the biggest changes, you can now reorganize the order of your app categories in the navigation menu. Just click and drag the dots on the side and then hit Save. Let me show you how this works. You will notice that I have Business Tax and Team as my first and second apps on both the navigation menu and now on the dashboard. Your pinned apps will always remain visible regardless of order. Play around to see what setup works best for your workflow. For the sake of this tour, I'm going to reset my customizations back to default so that we're all in the same order. Please note, I may mention some subcategories that aren't a part of your subscription. If something catches your eye, check your plan to see if it's included. For this walkthrough, we are going to look at the advanced subscription, though I don't have the payroll or marketing add-ons. First, let's go over accounting. This combines much of what was in the old transactions section with a few add-ons. We have bank transactions, integration transactions, which are the old app transactions such as Square or PayPal, the receipt function, reconcile, rules, chart of accounts, and recurring transactions, which you can still access from settings over here. They then added a direct link to both the revenue recognition and fixed assets subcategories, which are a bit new. The My Accountant area, where you can safely upload documents and files to your accountant, and another spot to connect with Intuit Live experts. Now, let's dive into the expenses and bills section. This section is similar to the classic expenses category, but with the new overview page that shows your spending metrics. Subcategories include expense transactions, vendors, bills, bill payments, mileage, contractors, and 1099s. Next, let's jump into the sales and get paid category. A bit of a note, this is very similar to the old sales category on the classic interface, but they split it. Most of the features live here, and several have been moved to the customer hub, which we'll go over in just a minute. They did add some new features. We start off with overview, sales transactions, and invoices being almost exactly the same and in the same order. Then we shuffle some. Our new order is payment links, reoccurring payments, sales orders, and sales channel, which were split from the old sales order section. We have QuickBooks payouts, which is the old deposit category of all of our income through Intuit payments, and the channel payouts, which is your connected commerce income. Finally, we finish it off with the good old products and services category, which you can still also access from settings. Now we can dive into the other half of the old sales category on the classic interface, the customer hub. There are some things featured here that were part of their beta customer agent, so a couple of new changes depending on your subscription. We have our overview, the leads, and the old customers page that was originally in sales, estimates, contracts, appointments, and review manager. If you do have the payroll add-on, here is where it would be. As far as my glances at our other clients' books, it's almost exactly the same as the old interface. Just a little bit of an overview. This is where you would find your employees and contractors, as well as payroll taxes, benefits, HR advisor, and compliance. After that, we have team. This is where you can look at employees, contractors, and workers' comp if you don't have payroll. Time. This is the weekly timesheet from the Classics interface, but you will also be able to access the QuickBooks Time subscription add-on if you have it. The next category is simply projects if you have it included. Inventory, if you have it included, is almost exactly the same, with overview, inventory, sales, orders, and purchase orders, and finally shipping labels. Now, they split up the old taxes category. If you do have payroll through QuickBooks Online, your payroll taxes will be in the payroll category. Otherwise, you can access both sales tax and business tax here. Sales tax, we have our overview, and then business tax, we have our overview and tax summary. This is a bit newer, and we will expand more on an incoming video. Finally, we have lending, where you can access all of the loans, line of credits, credit cards, and QuickBooks checking that Intuit has to offer. Reminder, please read all of the terms and conditions and talk to your accountant before you sign up for any loans or credit cards. If you have paid for their new marketing add-on, which is their integration option with MailChimp, this will be added to your apps here. Now, you may be wondering where reports went. Don't worry, it is still here. If you didn't catch the previous video, we toured the navigation bar on the left, which now holds all your reports. Do note that they added a brand new financial planning section, which has cash flow overview and budget if that is part of your subscription. That wraps it up for our tour of the app features, both new and classic. Leave a like if this was helpful to you. If you have any questions or have an area of these apps that you want us to explore in this series, please comment down below so that we can help you out. If you do want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe and consider checking out our other socials linked below, as well as our website. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, keep learning so that you can be rooted in wisdom and grow with care.